I'm here with Mehr Syed, who's a grief coach and a beautiful person. And she's here. Thank you so much, Mehr, for coming.
Thank you so much, Mandana, for having me here.
So, Mehr, can you tell me more about what is grief coach?
Okay, so the thing is, we have a lot of modalities which are available, which are accessible to people who are suffering from grief, trauma, and other emotional setbacks. But how grief coaching differs from other modalities is that a person comes to me and they have feelings around grief, around loss, and other mixture of feelings that are usually associated with grief that can be guilt, disappointment, sadness, even shame. So from that point onwards, what they want to achieve in life, if they want to go somewhere with the skills they have, and they're having blocks, they're having trouble accessing their own skill set, they're having trouble moving forward, they're having trouble processing the grief. So that's the point that we start working towards, setting goals and then gently, little by little, moving towards them. Because if a person is on the grief journey, there's no timeline, there's no rush.
Yeah.
So this whole process has to be taken very gently, one step at a time.
So, what is the difference between therapy and grief coaching? Like, how does one define that he needs that?
Okay, in the most simple words, I can say that you can think that therapy can be considered as the roots, where a person delves into the past and then comes up with what is troubling him because of certain things that may or may not have happened in their past. And that is how you arrive at what is the problem, and then you try to work around the way that how to make that thing better and make your present better. But coaching is from the present to the future. It's future focused, it's goal oriented, like simple tools and tricks that enable a person to access their own, like I said, their own skill set, things that they already possess, but they were unaware of in terms of their wellness, their betterment. So coaching can be described as maybe the stems of a tree that grows.
So if I'm not familiar with what I am feeling as a layman who is maybe had the simplest thing is कि आपका कोई death हो जाए, yeah, we can understand grief. That's how I think we all mostly relate with it. When you say guilt, when you say shame, these are different emotions and these are very different things. We don't relate grief with it. So how would you elaborate on that?
Okay, the thing is that when we are grieving, grief is an emotion that comes up when something that was dear to us, that was near to us, is no longer in our life. And when that thing goes away, usually associated with death, but death may or may not be the only cause. There are a lot of things in life that can give us grief. So we try to externalize the whole process in a sense by trying to making sense of what happened and why.
Yeah.
And while we're doing that,
externalizing everything. Like
exactly.
It can be about money, losing your money,
Exactly.
losing a business partner,
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
So that is where when guilt and shame and other feelings can also come up and associate themselves with something that is basically grief at the core.
Okay, so Mehr, what made you come to this journey? Like how, of course, I do feel that somehow whoever is, मतलब एक calling होती है, आपकी एक calling है, अगर वो calling का शायद आपको पता चलता ही तब है जब आप किसी process से गुजरते हैं. And doing this festival, I've met so many people and I've realized that they have their own process that they have gone through, and they were so real that now they feel the need to help or relate with other people the same pain that they felt. So can we know what is it that made Mehr a grief coach?
Absolutely, Mandana. My life took a transformative turn following the death of my husband 5 years ago. He died because of a sudden cardiac arrest. And that was a moment that completely shattered my life, and well, nothing was the same after that. And after that, there was a lot of darkness, a lot of hopelessness, and a time when I used to question my existence also. But then, like you said, it's a calling. When it calls you, you listen.
Yeah.
So my calling was to, well, get up and do something about people who are on the same journey and they're clueless, they're listless about how to handle grief, how to move on, how to go on about their lives when something or someone that they loved so dearly is no longer present in their life, which, by the way, they had no hand in. That thing just went away on its own.
Yes.
So this was a time in my life when I really thought that, if there is something that can be done about it, maybe I should start seeking ways in which I can help others and be there for others. And this is how coaching came into my life. And I found about it, then I delved into the subject, and one thing led to another, and here I am.
So are there any training processes? Are there any places? How did you feel the path into it?
Yes, there are definitely certifications and trainings, some of which I took also. But more than that, I feel that it's more of the personal experience that makes me able to relate with people more.
Yeah.
Because I started this work connecting with people who had lost their spouses. But believe me, Mandana, during my journey, I have met people with all kinds of griefs, from all walks of life, in all types of situations, and maybe the littlest things that they were carrying with them that were giving them grief.
Okay, so here is a very important thing that we are, as a human being, all trained to look externally. हम internally बहुत कम अपने आप को देखते हैं और या हमें वो आता ही नहीं है शायद देखना. When you were going through as a mother, you had a whole family. There is a whole process, and how was that? Being in this place yourself, then looking at the external, going through that journey, knowing how one finds its path. Because I feel like a lot of people feel they're stuck, they're depressed, they know their emotions, but they're not able to move forward with it because of exterior. When I say exterior, a lot of people who are their families, who they take responsibility of, and they're not able to work on themselves. So what does one do in that situation?
Okay, the first thing is we have to pause, which is something we don't do. Pause and sit with our emotions. We need to feel safe in our body. We need to feel that the space inside us is safe, where we can let all the emotions flow, let the feelings come as they are, feel everything, let it come out. This is extremely important. So this is the first step, I'd say. And then comes acceptance. Acceptance is, again, not an easy thing, but it's very important to the grief journey, because unless and until you accept that this is a new reality you're in, the thing that you're grieving about is no longer a part of your life for whatsoever reason. Acceptance. It doesn't come easy.
Yeah, it doesn't come easy.
So you have to start with that.
Okay, so and what about? Okay, so we've talked about how it's different from coaching. Is different from therapy. It's the process is different. We've talked about how we are focused on our external but not our internal. And as she said, we need to pause. We need to look within, feel the pain, feel the loss, whatever we have gone through, process it. And give yourself that time to go through it, then accept. So acceptance, beautifully said, acceptance is also another thing that takes a lot of time. It's again something that you need to process and understand. Ye ho chuka. This is my reality now, and this is what it is. And I think it takes a lot of work to do all those things. And yes, having Mehr Syed to guide you and to support you in this process is going to be one way of doing it, an easy way of doing it. Otherwise, you'll be on your own trying to do it. And yes, we can't close our eyes towards these realities. It will happen even if we don't want it to happen. So, thank you so much, Mehr. I think we'll share your details or contacts on this YouTube channel, and I hope and pray that people who need it hear it and see the show. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.